Well, first of all, thank you for having me here at the Digital CX Awards. I think that one of the biggest impacts that we had on SME in a Box, if I go back, was during the pandemic when it first began in early 2020. That was when SME in a Box was born. What happened was we collaborated with Maxis to create a value proposition to allow our customers to migrate from traditional brick and mortar over to become e-commerce platforms. Because during the pandemic, with the lockdowns, many of our customers were actually caught being unable to transact or conduct business with their customers. Hence, by doing that, we were able to work with Maxis to essentially allow us to migrate them to e-commerce and to be able to engage with their clients digitally. And I think that has been a very powerful solution for our customers during that time. And when we migrated to the endemic phase, we found there was another interesting use case for SME in a Box. What happened was many of our F&B providers, especially our F&B customers, particularly were having challenges in terms of severe labor shortages post-pandemic. And they found one of the solutions that we had in collaboration with Maxis was the ability to create a capability where we merge both payments, order taking into a single solution for them to either transact with customers online or on-site through tablets. And what has happened then was that was very well adopted by our customers because at the time, with a lack of manpower, the ability to reduce the amount of workers needed to run and operate F&B actually worked out quite well for them. And if I go further now to today, we are basically working on a couple of other initiatives with our partners. So taking learnings from there, we basically began working to build something called community banking, which is a bit of a spin-off from learnings in SME in a Box. And what we do now is we have just partnered with a very well-known coffee company called Bask Bear. They are a spin-off of one of Malaysia's largest bubble tea companies called Tea Life. And from there, we basically transform our branches into community centers, creating a reason for customers to actually come to branches. Because if you think back, with the success of Online, which is our digital bank, customers actually have no reason to come to branches anymore. For existing customers, 90% of all our transactions can be done through Online. And new to bank customers don't actually come to a branch at all because you can acquire them digitally as well. Hence, we had to create a reason for customers to come, and that's where community banking was born. And with that, working with Bask Bear, we have transformed our branches into very much more lifestyle. And we will be working with other partners to meet the specific needs of the community. So, a lot of my branches may be located in residential areas, maybe coffee company might be a good partner. We also have branches located in SME areas, and we are looking at working with other partners to then create the very same concept of community banking, but relevant to the area around them. First of all, it's not rocket science. It's just really being hyper-focused on the customer and making sure that whatever the customer does on Online, they can do it quickly and easily. They are able to discover Online's various capabilities easily without having to scroll through, touch to 3 buttons and then figure out, oh yeah, it's there, right? So what we did was we hyper-focused on some of the transactions that are very commonly done and made it very easy for customers to discover and use them. On top of that, we made sure that all transactions that Online does is monitored, and we wanted to make sure that it's one of the fastest in the industry. So it's not just about being able to discover it, but not many people enjoy when you do a transaction and you have that hourglass spinning around waiting for it to complete. We were quite clear that we wanted to make sure that whatever we do it quickly. And I think that has allowed us to basically take a very good position in Malaysia among digital banks. For example, QR payments, we were one of the slowest actually when we started Online. We are now one of the fastest. And correspondingly as that, QR payments through Online grew 7 times year on year. And apart of that, we also look at our transactions, which is basically people using Online to do other transactions outside of QR payments, grew 20% year on year. And that's through nothing more than just making things easier and faster. And on top of that, we also have what we call active listening to the voice of the customer. We do that a lot. And recently, if you're Malaysian, you will understand that a trending issue or challenge now is scams. You are seeing it everywhere. Malaysians have literally lost their life savings because of scams, and most of the time it's because of digital banking. when they compromise their credentials. And we heard that. And even before this became a major issue in Malaysia, we all were already working on solutions to address that. So we were among the first banks. I think we are the first bank to have launched kill switches. So you can deactivate your entire digital bank through a touch of a button. We also have put in place various other security measures. Example would be if you were to rebind your mobile app, there's a 24-hour cooling off period, many other things. So active listening, addressing customer concerns, and that's allowed us to even grow our customer growth through AmOnline. And if I think about that, beyond that is also working with partners. We talk about beyond banking. So we tied up with a few key partners like BonusLink, Malaysia's largest loyalty provider in Malaysia. We also tied up with Amanah Saham Nasional Berhad, which is Malaysia's largest fund management company. We partnered with Tabung Haji, which is basically Malaysia's pilgrimage fund. What we then did was basically link all of this and integrated AmOnline into their apps. So what happens now, through AmOnline, you could redeem your BonusLink loyalty program points through AmOnline without having to exit the app. You can basically move your money seamlessly between your bank accounts in AmBank to your pilgrimage fund, to your funds in the Malaysian, in Amanah Saham Nasional Berhad, and vice versa. And the impact of that has been actually very positive. We have seen our balances for customers who actively use these services grow by 10% year on year, compared to those that are not. So I think it's a very interesting fact that by providing what we like to term as beyond banking services, you really see a deepening of customer relationships, and many more like that. Apple Pay was actually a really tough journey. We kind of decided that we wanted to offer Apple Pay to AmBank customers because we felt that having a leading position in payments is absolutely critical in the digital banking space and in banking in general. The challenge we had then was that we didn't even have tokenization. You need to be able to tokenize in order to even begin to do digital payments on your phone. I'm amazed that we actually were one of the first 3 banks in Malaysia to launch Apple Pay, because when you do a race, it's like you're starting the race and you're 200 meters behind the starting line. So we had to get tokenization done and then launch Apple Pay out to the customers. And we did that, right? It has actually been a very positive story for us, because after deployment of Apple Pay, we saw that a couple of things happening. We saw that our Apple Pay customers who are using it were transacting 40% more volume. That means they were spending 40% more. And the transaction swipes were 50% more. But that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is when you delve deeper into the client that's actively using Apple Pay, what you're seeing is that the level of relationship with us has deepened. They have more deposits with us. They do more wealth management with us. They do more loans with us. And as a result, I think that aspiration to take a leading space in payments actually, pardon the pun, paid off for AmBank. On top of that, we were also working on QR payments. I mentioned earlier, we were one of the slowest. Now we've become one of the fastest QR payment providers in Malaysia. And similar story there, we are seeing that we have been able to dramatically grow the amount of users of AmOnline. And on top of that, we also took advantage, in Malaysia, and I'm sure in Singapore as well, you have a lot of festive seasons. For the Muslims, they are still celebrating the Hari Raya Aidilfitri, and just a couple of months, it was the Chinese New Year. And what we did was we basically allowed customers to send, instead of physical money packets, digital money packets through AmOnline in a very easy, simple manner, very easily discoverable. And that has allowed us to see that funds transfers during this period is growing 16%. Year on year. So I think it's also another area that we have been able to support our customers on.